Yo, what's going on, my people? It's your boy Chris, and I'm back. So today I wanted to talk a lot more about failing with intention, or how I like to call it, failing forward. And the reason why I wanted to kind of delve into this topic is because throughout the past couple weeks, I've been kind of feeling stagnant a little bit with my growth. And I wanted to kind of analyze, why do I feel like I'm stagnant? This was like an earlier problem that I kind of diagnosed and somewhat figured out throughout these past couple of weeks. But what I've come to find out regarding why I felt stagnant was that I was not understanding why certain things were not working for me in my studies, right? I was kind of failing, but I wasn't taking the time to understand why I was failing. And I think that's a super big component to growing a lot more effectively, a lot more efficiently, as opposed to just throwing your head at the wall. Like, obviously throwing your head at the wall and just rep and getting all of those drawing reps in, that's going to get you some results. But, you know, if you can understand why something is not working, and then, as opposed to doing just a bunch of wrong reps, start to slowly push the needle towards a more correct rep. And by the way, when I say rep, it's a gym term, but what I mean is like repetition. You know, how much you're doing a certain thing, right? How often you're doing it. But when you push yourself a little bit towards the correct way via understanding, I think that's the key to really increasing the rate at which you learn and retain information. Now, granted, you're still gonna have to do a lot of reps. That's not gonna ever change. But if you could, change the way you're analyzing your own work, sometimes can really help change your perspective on art as a whole and help change your overall trajectory when it comes to learning. So an example that I have, right, is for myself, action. This month, really all of August, and gonna be a little bit more of a September too. I've been focusing on pretty much nothing but action when it comes to my work. Like, I want to get my stuff to a point to where it looks like it's moving. Like, I spent the first half of 2024 really just kind of getting my anatomy to a point that's, not terrible, not trash, right? And now I'm at the point now where it's like, okay, what can I do with this anatomy knowledge now? How can I manipulate? How can I move this? And originally, or I guess at the start, a lot of my action was a little bit more on the stiff side, at least in my opinion. I felt like a lot of my action could have used a little bit more dynamism. I think that's the word, right? Dynamism. Also, a lot more fluidity and gesture, right? And what I was finding is that, yeah, man, when I was, approaching action, I was not analyzing what worked with making stuff move. Like, what makes a static image look like it's moving? That's a better way to put it. I'm gonna cut all of what I said and just phrase what makes a static image look like it's moving. And so I didn't ask myself that question on the initial attempts. I just kind of threw my head at the wall. I tried to figure it out on my own, and I got to a point where it's like, okay, this is the extent of what I know. I do not know from my own knowledge bank how to make this look like it's moving. So I had to ask myself, well, what about my artwork looks like it's stiff or like static or not moving? And what are other people doing that in turn is, what I'm trying to achieve? What is Yusuke Murata doing, in his manga panels, right? To make his scenes look like they're animated, but it's just a static image or a static panel. Things like that. I would analyze these things. And again, I had to ask myself that question, okay, what are they doing? And a lot of the times what they're doing, again, and it's very obvious, right? But I'd be seeing like the middle and the ends of an action, right? So in my head, when I was initially framing out how action looked, I would see like the end of like a punch, right? But I wouldn't see the impact of that punch. It'd just be the end. A lot of what Yusuke Murata was doing is drawing that impact to imply that, hey, this happened and this is the aftermath of that happening, right? Now, again, I wouldn't have arrived at that conclusion if I didn't ask myself, okay, what about my work is lacking? And what about the master's work is not lacking? How can I kind of lessen that gap, right? Now, oh my gosh, the gap is big, but, the more you're chipping away at, just the things you're not paying attention to, the more you're adding to your arsenal as an artist, right? So for me, that's what I was kind of starting to understand. And, again, the first few attempts, they were not working, man. Like, I was trying my best to make the action look like it was action. And, there were some attempts that were better than others, but all in all, I didn't really start unlocking that action, or at least that fluidity in my work, until like week 2 or 3 of this action study plan. I don't even know what to call it. Study plan. I don't know what to call it, man. But it's like, it didn't really start unlocking until, you know, that third week or so when I was like, okay, now I'm really starting to get it. I'm starting to get in my groove. Now I feel a lot more confident with approaching this. But again, it comes back down to that concept of failing forward, not just aimlessly, you know, failing and, you know, not asking yourself why it's not working, but obviously like, and this could be an obvious tip, you know, but again, asking yourself what is not working, analyzing the art that works, or you can apply this to anything, your projects, you know, your hobbies, whatever, right? Analyzing someone that is doing the thing correctly and then applying that back into your own work, right? Now, there are so many different ways to then practice effectively what you learned from the master and then applying it back into your own work, whether it's studies, whether it's, you know, doing a small project that incorporates the elements you're trying to learn, or whatever the case so happens to be, whatever have you, right? Whatever you want to do. There are different ways to practice, but all in all, the notion is, you know, figure out the thing that's lacking in your work and then study others, study the people that are doing it correctly, apply it back, fail forward, you know. The forward part is like, if you're gonna fail, at least understand why you failed. That's the forward part, because at least now you know. So it's not just a damn it I failed, it's a damn it I failed. Well, let me see why. Okay, now I understand why. Now let me go find a source to try and change that, you know? So I just kind of wanted to give that small little message, nothing too deep this week. Again, really hope you guys are still sticking with me on this year-long journey, man. We're, you know, getting to the third quarter of 2024. I guess we're already in the third quarter of 2024. Still going strong. I'm super excited to continue my journey as an artist here, and I'm glad that everyone has been checking in with me and you know, leaving nice comments. That's really been encouraging me to keep going and keep sharing my progress with you guys. And please, I implore you to share your stuff with me as well, because I think it's really inspiring, you know, to see your stuff too. And you know, the more people that are doing this challenge with me, the more I think we're all growing together, and we're all you know, kind of becoming a really cool, tight-knit community. So again, I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, studies will be posted at 12 o'clock on Sunday. As always, I'll be back real soon with another video. And again, I'm gonna talk to you guys later in the next one. But y'all take it easy. Peace.